Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sarah's Stitch, and happy 2025. So I have no idea what episode we're on, but I am here to give you my first podcast of 2025. We have some finished objects, some works in progress, and by some I mean a lot. No acquisitions from my end, which I feel very proud about. And I think that's it. So let's get started. If you are new here or haven't seen me in a while, because it's been probably a month since I posted, I kind of got distracted while traveling and stopped Vlogmas midway through Vlogmas. But my name is Sarah. I am a knitter based in Hoboken, New Jersey, where I live in a sometimes noisy apartment. So I am sorry if you hear street noise, people yelling, people outside my apartment, any of that nonsense. And I'm an accountant by day, knitter by night. So we are getting into busy season. As of today, I think today's the 18th? 19th. It's Saturday of Martin Luther King weekend. So busy season officially starts on Tuesday. So we will see how much actual knitting I get through, but I figured I would sit down and film a podcast before all of the chaos starts and I can catch you up on everything that I knit over the holidays. So without further ado, let's get started with what I'm wearing, which is my sweater number 9 light. This is a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I knit it out of woolberry fiber, the berry cashmere DK base, and this is from a Christmas or like holiday box a couple years ago. The color is Alpine, and it's this really pretty, talked about it before, it's a really pretty light blue with teal, brown, and like navy speckles on it. I knit, I don't know what size, I probably knit a size 2 or 3, small or medium, I'm not sure. It'll all be on my Ravelry, which I haven't said yet. Anything I talk about today will be linked down below. Ravelry, project pages, dyers, yarn shops, all of that good stuff. My Instagram, where I'm sarahs.stitch, and Ravelry, where I'm selynch527, will all be linked down below. But yes, all of the details of this are on my project page. I finished it in October. It had been on the needles for a while. It was part of my finish up some whips in October whip down. So I'm very happy to be wearing it. This is it's its first outing and I'm loving it. I'm a big fan of this turtleneck height. So I think I need to make some more in this height, but I think that's it. I think I knit everything pretty much to pattern. I've talked about it in other podcasts. Go look at them if you want. So let's start with finished objects. We'll start with, I guess, the most exciting one first, which is my Christmas sweater. Oh, I love her so much. So my Christmas sweater is done. I wore it on Christmas. It was lovely in the mountains. I put a picture on Instagram, I think, but I took a picture at the Matterhorn. It was lovely. So this sweater is an old vintage Norwegian pattern. The pattern number is 5022. I got the pattern from like a Facebook knitting group, and it was all in Norwegian, but I really just needed the charts, and I knit it out of Cascade 220 and Peer Gynt. So the red and the green are Cascade, and then the neutral is Almond Peer Gynt, which is the petite knit color. And oh, I love this so much. I did screw up the steeks a little bit. So the floats and the steek stitches are questionable at best, but I'm hoping they just kind of felt themselves down over time. And I changed in the pattern. I did the cuff like this. So I wanted to do the rolled hem because that felt very on trend for 2024. And then I did corrugated ribbing for the sleeve cuffs and the bottom of the sweater, and then for the top of the sweater I just did 1x1 rib, and then I put some elastic in the top just to help cinch it in. I did pretty much run out of the green yarn, so I probably would have made the neck a little bit higher if I could have, but I ran out, so it is what it is. And I love this sweater. It is a bit long in the body, but it's nothing that'll stop me from doing a French tack. I kind of wish it was a tad bit shorter, but I wanted all the motifs, and this is how it's gonna work. It will definitely be I don't know if generational feels like a bit of a stretch, but it's going to be a long-lived sweater, so I'm kind of glad it's not cropped, so I can wear it when I'm 55 or 60 and maybe don't want a crop sweater. But I love it so much, and there are some ends in it still, so ignore that. But yes, it's my Christmas jumper, and now it's going to be put away for the next 10 months. So yes, prepare to see it next Christmas time a lot, I think. I love it. I'm very proud of this one, especially because the pattern was in Norwegian. I kind of had to translate, kind of had to make it my own thing along the way, so I'm very proud of it. So, love this. All right, next finished object is my dad's sweater. So this is the Glint sweater. I'm forgetting the designer off the top of my head, but I knit this out of Sandnesgarn, merino wool, and double Sunday. The colors will all be linked down below because I don't remember all the color codes off the top of my head, but the blues are the double Sunday and the grays are the merino wool. It did stretch out a lot when I washed it. So my dad just tried it on, and the sleeves are way too long on him, like inches and inches too long. And the body is a bit wide, so I'm debating if I want to chuck it in the dryer for a little bit and just see if that helps shrink it down. It's all super wash, so it should be fine, but it just needs like a little bit of shrinkage on the width, and I don't want to make it any longer. So if anyone has suggestions on that, please do let me know. I knit the size 1 in this pattern. There's not many size options. I think there's only 3 or 4 sizes, and this is the size 1. I don't know if I hit gauge or not, but I knit it all on a 4.5 millimeter needle, and let's go down there. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, the only thing I changed from the pattern was I didn't steek the armholes. I knit them, so from the arm up I knit flat because the merino wool is superwash, but it's very slippy superwash. It's not like a toothy one. Not that there's many toothy superwashes, but it did not feel like it had the structural integrity to get steeked. So I just decided to knit it flat rather than steek it, and then sewed on the arms this morning. So this is it. I am gonna, I think, put some elastic in the bottom ribbing because it was flaring out a bit on him in the back, but elastic, and then shorten the sleeves. I think maybe have the ribbing end like middle of the snowflake, so just shorten it to this the blue here and just do blue straight into the ribbing. My mom took a picture of him wearing it with the sleeves cuffed up so I can see how long the sleeves were on him, but I may be risky. I may just chuck this in the wash and see if the dryer can sort out anything before I start cutting it apart. Ideally, I think I'd want it to be a little bit thinner in the bust circumference. I know he doesn't have a bust, but the circumference around, I think all of his other sweaters are about 10 centimeters smaller So it looks very oversized on him, which I don't know if I like or not, but it was a surprise. So we tried our best. And that is the glint sweater. All right. And then next, and I think final finished objects right now are the Cozy Knitter Advent socks from this year. So I knit these just plain old vanilla socks with a 1x1 cuff, heel flap and gusset, and then a wedge toe. So these haven't been blocked yet, but all the ends are woven in and the toes are done, so I'm counting them as done. I knit them fully. They were fully done, well, up until the toe was fully done before Christmas Eve, and then when we left Switzerland before I went to Austria, which was a couple days after Christmas, I sent home my Christmas sweater and these because I knew I probably wasn't going to just put toes in. That didn't feel like it was realistic enough, so I sent these home and I just put the toes in yesterday. So these are officially finished. And I think that is it for finished objects. I have quite a few whips surrounding me. A lot of them are socks. So I will go through them relatively quickly, starting with, I think, the ones that everyone has seen most frequently or recently. So first, just taking the needles out of these because it's already a disaster, are my Freckled Whimsy Advent socks, which also, well, not also, they just need a toe. What's my second one? Oh, one already has a toe. So, go me. I'll show you this one. That's probably prettier. So this is the Freckled Whimsy Advent sock. I did contrasting heel toe cuff with a homespun house gold stellina yarn and antique. I don't know if the stellina will show up there, but it is stellina, I promise. And then I did just a fully ribbed sock. What is it? A 3x1 rib sock. And on the first round of every color change, I just knit the entire round so you didn't have any of the purl blips of the change of color. And I'm really happy with these. I was knitting on them again over December and got to about here and realized that this whole section is a bit of a rainbow, which I don't know how I feel about that because nothing else is a rainbow, but they were fun. I love an Advent sock, and I think this is my first pair of fully ribbed socks for myself, so I'm excited to see how I like these because like I have loads of crinkle socks and things like that, but this is my first pair of 3x1 socks the whole way down, so yeah. And I should say for both of my Advent socks, they were knit on 2mm needles. I use 9-inch circulars typically, and I did 64 stitches. So, and these have do a butterfly heel? I think I did a butterfly heel on these. Yeah, a butterfly heel, which is by K. Jones, which is essentially a short row heel, but no short rows. So just something a little different. And I typically do about 80 or 85 rounds of knitting on the foot before I do the toe. So that is these. And they should hopefully be a finished object by the next time I film because I just need to put one toe on. So next we have the last of the Advent knitting that I have, which is currently a bit sad, but this is kind of just a sock tube right now. This is leftovers from my Cozy Knitter skein from 2 years ago Advent, and I am making this for my mom. So this just needs a toe, obviously, and a heel cut into it, but the main knitting of it is done. I just did a little faux cable detail on either side on the front of the sock, which I just did right cross and left cross on both sides, just for a little bit of texture. And yeah, 64 stitches, 2mm 9-inch circulars. And the contrast again is the Homespun House Antique. So one-ish is done. I think I'm going to put this to the side for a little bit, and once the toe's in, and pick it maybe back up in the summer. But one is done-ish. Oh my goodness, I need to stop yawning. Okay, couple more socks. Next, just what we have in front of us. These are socks for my dad. They are the String of Lights pattern by the Sock Witchery, and I'm knitting them out of a Crazy Zabber ball in the color, I don't remember the number, but the name is Pause in Blau, and they are just a standard String of Lights sock. I've started the second one. This is what the skein looks like caked up. And I believe the Crazy Zabber balls don't stripe in a continual repeating sequence, so you can kind of see on this one, like it never really repeats the colors fully. So I found it really fun because I don't think I realized that until I was pretty much done with the first sock. So it's gonna be fun to see how this sock turns out compared to this one. I know my dad doesn't really care if they match or not, so that's also a benefit. I'm knitting these, as you can see, on 9-inch circulars, 2mm needles, and 64 stitches again. And yeah, I think that's really all I have to say about them. He is a size 11 men's, so these look comically long, but according to my sock roller, this is how big his foot is. So that compared to my foot is a joke. It's so much bigger, but that's what the sock roller says. And okay, I think that's it on those. I feel like I'm going through these very quickly, but they're just all socks, so they're all pretty, my standard socks, so I feel like it's all good. All right, let's make sure we're still recording. Okay. All right, next we have crunkled socks. If you've watched for a while, you would have seen these in October probably, or November. I was in the hospital a couple times over the fall, and I was actually in the hospital again last week. But one of my hospital trips, because it was not planned, I didn't have any yarn with me, my mom so kindly stopped at Mother Knitter on the way up to come visit me and got me some yarn. And this was the second time she got me some, and this is, oh, what is it? Is it hedgehog? I think it's hedgehog fibers. I can't remember the color. I want to say it's Andrea, but I could be very wrong about that. And I just knit the crunkled socks for her, so they're gonna be for my mom. She was so kind to get me the yarn. So crunkled socks, I just did the same color all the way through. I think this is one of my first, not one of my first, but one of my only pairs of socks I have that are a single color all the way through, which was nice to only have two ends for. And crunkled socks by Kay Jones, 64 stitches. My mom is also a size US 9 foot women's, so I do about 85-ish rounds for her because she likes her socks to be a little bit longer in the foot. So one sock is done, and the second sock I just need to do one more repeat and the toe, and that will be done as well. So again, another pair of socks that should in theory be done by the next time I film, because it just requires 6 rows and a toe. So these are the crunkled socks, and I'm now realizing I forgot a pair of socks, so let me grab those real quick. This is my last pair of socks, I swear, that I've been working on recently, and these are the second breakfast, Jesus, did you see my brain just stop working there? Second breakfast socks by Sock Witchery, and I'm knitting these out of a Homespun House. The colorway was a sock set from a Christmas like an Advent sock set or Christmas sock set a couple years ago called Christmas Market, and it's on Molly's beautiful gold stellina base, and it's this really pretty reds, pinks, a little bit of green speckles. I'm hoping you can see all of that. This is what it looks like caked up, and it came with this little mini that's kind of an oatmeal-y brown colorway. And these have been my work sock, meeting knitting socks this week. I cast them on my last day in the hospital, so on Monday this week on. So I knit a sock in a week, which is fun, I guess. These are ready for the toe, and then I will cast on the cuff for the second cuff to do work next week probably. Again, 64 stitches, 2mm needles, 9-inch circulars, the whole shebang. So, and I'm doing these, I think I'm gonna wind up doing 84 rounds for these for the foot. And I did do a bit of a higher leg than I normally do. I think I did 60 rounds for the leg, which I don't typically do 60. I usually do about 45 for myself, but I was kind of feeling a longer leg. So those are that, and I swear that is the end of sock talk. So I only have 2 more works in progress to show you. One is the start of mittens. So I cast these on right when we got back from traveling. These are the January mittens. I can't remember the designer off the top of my head. And I'm knitting these out of a Homespun House non-superwash DK in the color Juniper and Fresh Sheets. So this is what we have so far. I'm knitting these, I don't think I'm knitting them exactly to pattern. I'm knitting them on the main mitten. I'm knitting on 3.25mm needles, and the cuff I knit on 2.75. But my plan for these is I'm going to do inverse mittens. So this is going to be the left mitten, and it's white snowflakes with a green background, and then the right mitten is going to be white background, green snowflakes. So it'll be opposites of each other. This is the inside. You can see I had like a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a tensioning issue or something there, but they're just mittens. And I'm gonna have loads of this left over, so I may make my mom a pair or something with the leftovers. And I did a Latvian braid. I don't know if the pattern calls for a Latvian braid or not, but this was my first time doing one. It's much easier than I was expecting it to be, and I love the outcome. I think I'm going to do it so it's going in opposite directions. So like, say, I don't know, this one goes this way for the left mitten, like heads that way. For the right mitten, I'm gonna have it go that way, if I can figure that out. But I have one more pattern repeat of the colorwork chart to do, and then I will be rounding it. So I need to cut in the thumb and do all the fun things, but these were a great back to the US, kind of mindless, but still a little bit of thought going into them knit before I wound up in the hospital. I haven't knit much on them since I left because I distracted myself with the whip I'm going to show you right now, which is my Yoon sweater. So this is the Yoon sweater by November Knit. I'm knitting this out of Woolberry Fiber Company in the, I don't know if this is cashmere or not, but DK Woolberry and Surrey. And the colorway is Flock, which is from the Flock Fiber Festival a couple years ago, I think 2 summers ago. I didn't go to Flock. I ordered it. I think Bethany did a pre-order. And after Flock, sorry you couldn't come, release, it might have only been for collective members, but I got some to make the Yoon sweater, and I'm finally making it. It's been in my cabinet here for probably 2 years waiting to be made. And I started this Wednesday night. Thursday night, I think. And this is how far I am. So I am just about halfway through the bottom ribbing on the front. So you could say it's flying. So I did do helical knitting for the top of the sweater. And then for the ribbing, I just decided it was going to be too much of a hassle to do helical knitting. So I'm knitting just with one of each strand, not alternating or anything. And I've gone through one full ball of yarn, and I have maybe 20 grams left of a second, and then whatever this is, 50 grams maybe of this. So my hope is I can use this to finish up the front and back ribbing, and then the 20 gram ball that I have remaining is what I kind of used in the middle section here. So can you see me? Okay, yeah. What I used in the middle section. So I will split that up, and then that's what I'll start the sleeves with. And I probably will helically knit the sleeves until that runs out, and then just use whatever ball of yarn I have at that point in time. But this is probably going to be my main focus for the weekend. Since it's holiday weekend, I think I could get through a good chunk of this. I probably should also do some of those sock toes, but we'll see. We'll do this until I'm sick of ribbing, and then either I'll be done with ribbing or it might be toe time for a little bit. But that is pretty much everything I've been working on. It's a little bit of a lot of everything. But yes, that is pretty much it. I'm going to figure out how to fix my dad's sweater, and yeah, let me know if anyone is interested in like what my knitting plans are for either the year or for the winter. I haven't done any video like that yet, and I'm not going to do a what I knit in 2024 video because I feel like the time has come and gone and it's too late now. So I will be tracking yards and all of that this year. I think that would be interesting to know and do. So I'm tracking it this year. Knit and Note actually does a really good job of like showing you exactly yards or meters you've knit so far based off completed projects, which I think is very interesting. And I may start doing, depending, cost of projects once I finish them, which I don't know if I should do or not because I don't know if I want to know that information. But I think it is very interesting to know how much money I'm spending on yarn, but also I don't think I need to know how much money I've spent on yarn. So let me know if you're interested in any of that, of plans, either for the full year, like a make 9 or something like that, winter plans. If you're interested in knowing the cost of projects, meters in and out. So that is that. I do have technically some acquisitions because my parents just gave me a bag full of yarn that they want me to make them things out of. So I guess I will show you that now because I have no acquisitions of my own. So we'll go through this adventure together. The first thing, which I know about, well, I knew about because I was with my mom when she got it, is my mom's Sawkill Farm 3-ply worsted that we got at Rhinebeck. I have the same weight yarn in a dark brown, and this is the light gray undyed base or colorway, and I'm going to be making her Dagmar jacket out of this for Rhinebeck next year, and apparently she wanted me to have it now, so I need to find somewhere to put 9 skeins of yarn, which I'm currently running out of space for yarn. So that is part of my goals of this year, is knitting down some of my stash because there's nowhere else for me to put yarn in this apartment. But I have 9 skeins of this now to make my mom a sweater and then give back to her. Right. And then we've got, oh, this is very soft. Okay. So when we were in Switzerland, after we left Zermatt, my parents went to Lucerne. My brother, sister, and I went to Zurich for a couple days. My parents flew home from there. We continued on to Austria for another week of drinking and fun over New Year's. But the grocery stores in Switzerland apparently have yarn, and apparently they have lang yarn And the Coop City in Lucerne was having a sale. So all of this was 50% off. So my parents decided to get loads of Lang Enya, which is a 50-gram ball, 150 meters, and it is 63% alpaca, 37% polyamide, and it looks like it's maybe a chainette construction, but they got it in this cream color. I have 3 balls of that. I have 3 balls of this dark charcoaly black. Do we have color numbers on here? Maybe 1106.07, 007, charcoaly black. And then I have 1 ball of a light blue and 1 ball of a greeny color. The blue is 1106.0033 and the green is 1106.93. So maybe it's just the end numbers. 93, 33, maybe 90, 94, and 70. So with these yarns, my mom wants me to make her a bobble hat, which is the like little hat with the sheep situation going on in it. So she wants a hat made out of that, or that hat made out of these. And then my dad wants a colorwork hat as well with just the cream and the white. And then my mom wanted to have mittens made with any of the leftovers. So I now have another 400 grams of yarn to make them a couple things. So maybe I will make them in the next few weeks and send them down to them so that they can maybe get some use out of them over winter. But I think that is it. That's all my acquisitions, not even my acquisitions, works in progress, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for sticking around if you're still here. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked it and would like to see more videos. And yeah, come follow me on Instagram. Let me know what you've been working on. Let me know what your plans are for 2025. I need some inspiration. I feel like I've been very much in like a, I don't know if it's overwhelmed or like decision fatigue. Like I can't decide what to knit at all. Therefore, I have a million socks in front of me. But I feel like I want to knit a sweater so badly, and I don't know what sweater I should knit next. So I need some inspiration and some ideas. Ideally, I'd like to use some things in my stash, but I'm not opposed to buying new yarn because that's just fun too. But thank you so much for being here, and I will chat to you in the next video. Bye.